Today I'm working on the brackets to mount the pedal assembly, and I was kind of looking at doing some spacers, and then however it was going to mount to the cage tube that's going to pass through under here somewhere, and I was going to try to like do a whole plate. Also could have gone up from it. There's also these other bowl hole locations up here that I'm not sure what the purpose is other than just different mounting solutions. But I wanted to use the big ones, and I decided against doing a bigger complex plate just because it seems a lot simpler to just use like a piece of angle iron to come out, down, hooks into the cage tube. It'll be nice and strong. It's two simple pieces. So that's when I started fabricating. Started out with just, scribing the line and putting the bolt hole spacing on there. I'm threading these so the bolts can go in from the top through the brake pedal assembly and bolt into these plates, since these are a 1/4 inch thick, so it should be plenty of thread for that. And then have it here in the vise where, because I hand cut these pieces, they weren't exactly completely square, so I put a square against one side, lined up the holes to make sure that they matched, clamped it in the vise, and I've got this vise grip up here to help hold it. So I'm holding this plane of where it's going to bolt to the pedal assembly so that I could then cut the hole for the cage tube, which I just ran through here with a hole saw. The center hole was up maybe, I don't know, 1/4 inch from the end, so it had enough meat all the way around it to keep it stable all the way through. I had to add the vise grip up here partway through just because it pushed the first up a little bit when it broke free. So I lined them back up, clamped it, finished drilling the hole saw all the way through, and then I had to take a rotary file and kind of clean up the edge a little bit just so that I can get an 1.5 inch piece to lay in there really nice. So now we'll be able to bolt them on. Cage tube will sit right in here, and then when we go over to the tube itself, it'll sit on just like this. We'll be able to kind of set the angle we really want everything at. I mean, mostly we're just going to want it leveled out, and then there's just enough wiggle side to side that should kind of like self-align after it's all bolted together. And because we've got a nice, matched fit by cutting these when they were put together, we should not have very much difference in height to side. They should be pretty close. That's why I had it clamped together the way it was when I was cutting with the hole saw. Any minor difference here is going to be, you're not even going to be able to tell at this point, but if it did turn into something where I did need to, we could always shim one side of the pedal assembly up or down, up a little bit, just to level everything out. But I don't see it being an issue. Even just looking at this right now, it looks very close side to side. Maybe one's just a hair deeper, but I mean, once you spread them out that far on this brake pedal assembly, I mean, we're going to be talking probably less than a degree of difference, so I'm not too worried about it. The big thing is just this is kind of a simple solution, and it should be where I can just get it bolted up, set it in place. I'll be able to slide it side to side, and I won't even have to do anything more than maybe tack it in place for right now, and I'll be able to then set the position of the pedals side to side later on, but I can have them close enough for right now that I can work on the pedal box and all that stuff on the driver's side of the car without having to worry about not knowing where the pedals are going to end up. Now at this point, these parts are pretty crude. Probably going to go around, pretty them up. Like on the bottom side here where the tube is, I'm sure I can cut quite a bit of an angle off of here at, I don't know, 30 degrees or whatever the heck it is. We'll leave a little bit of meat down by the tube, cut an angle, we'll ditch some weight that way. On the top side, we can certainly round off these corners. If I felt so inclined, we could actually mark it so that it gets the same weight relief as the pedal assembly, but kind of in the opposite direction, since it's in the opposite direction. It's this one there, so we can take some material out of here if we want to. It's I don't know. At this point there, I could spend as much or as little time on these as I want. It's just a matter of, you know, the effort versus the weight. And I mean, there is some weight to these brackets because they are 1/4 inch angle. So we'll just see where we end up and how much I decide to do. And there we have, not a bad little mount system. So right now we can rotate the pedals, tilting them front to back. We can also slide side to side. It just got vice grip holding it in place there. And we'll be able to adjust our position as we need.